Ethan had only lived in the apartment for 11 days when he realized something wasn't right. It wasn't anything obvious at first. The place was small, a one-bedroom unit on the third floor of an older building just outside the city. The rent was cheap, which was the main reason he took it. The landlord barely asked questions, handed him the keys the same day, and told him the previous tenant had left in a hurry. At the time, that didn't bother him. By the second night, he noticed the layout felt off. Not wrong, exactly, just inconsistent. The front door opened into a narrow hallway that led to the living room. On the right was the bathroom. On the left, the bedroom. Straight ahead, the kitchen. Simple. Except sometimes, when he walked from the bedroom to the kitchen, the hallway felt longer than it should have been. Not by much, just enough that he'd slow down and notice it. He told himself it was just the unfamiliar space. By day 5, the sounds started, soft ones at first. Movement in the walls, a faint creaking like someone shifting their weight just out of sight. He checked with the neighbors once, casually asking if the walls were thin. They told him the unit next to his had been empty for months. That was the first time he felt uneasy. Still, he stayed. On the 11th night, everything changed. It was around 9:30 p.m. Ethan had been working late on his laptop in the living room when the power flickered once. Then again, not enough to shut anything off, just enough to make him look up. The apartment fell completely silent. No hum from the fridge, no distant traffic. Even the usual creaks in the building seemed to stop all at once. Then came the knock. 3 slow, deliberate taps, not on the front door. From somewhere deeper inside the apartment, Ethan froze. He listened carefully, trying to figure out where it came from. The bedroom. Another 3 knocks followed, louder this time. He stood up slowly and walked down the hallway, his footsteps sounding strangely muted, like the space around him was swallowing the noise. The bedroom door was already slightly open. He was sure he had closed it earlier. "Hello?" he called out, his voice quieter than he intended. No answer. He pushed the door open the rest of the way. The room was empty, nothing out of place. The window was shut. The closet door was closed. He stepped inside, scanning the corners. Then he heard it again. 3 knocks, this time right behind him. He turned sharply toward the hallway. The apartment looked different. Not dramatically, but enough. The hallway seemed narrower, the walls slightly closer together than before. Ethan stepped back into it, his heart starting to pound. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. He moved quickly toward the front door. He didn't hesitate, he just wanted out. He grabbed the handle, unlocked it, and pulled it open. Behind it was not the hallway outside. It was his kitchen. He froze, staring. The same kitchen he had just walked past minutes ago. Same dim overhead light. Same dishes in the sink. Same chair slightly pulled out from the table. He slowly closed the door, took a breath, then opened it again. Still the kitchen. He let go of the handle. For a few seconds, he just stood there, trying to process what he was seeing. Then he laughed under his breath. "Okay, not funny," he muttered, even though no one else was there. He walked to the kitchen directly this time, just to confirm. It was real, solid, normal. He turned around and went back to the front door, opened it again. Kitchen. That's when the panic started to set in. He moved faster now, going to the bedroom. He opened that door. The bathroom. He blinked, closed it, opened it again. Still the bathroom. The layout was breaking, changing. Or maybe it always had been. Ethan backed away slowly, his breathing becoming uneven. "This doesn't make sense," he whispered. He pulled out his phone. No signal. Wi-Fi was gone too. Of course it was. He tried calling anyway. Nothing. Then, from somewhere behind the walls, 3 knocks, closer this time. He turned his head slowly toward the sound. It came from the living room wall, the same wall that separated his unit from the empty apartment next door. Except now, it didn't sound like it was coming from the other side. It sounded like it was inside the wall. Something knocked again, 3 times, then a pause, then 3 more, like it was waiting for a response. Ethan shook his head, backing away. "No," he said out loud, more firmly this time. "No, I'm not doing this." He grabbed his keys and ran to the front door again. Kitchen. He slammed it shut, ran to the bedroom, bathroom. Every door was wrong. Every path led somewhere inside. He tried the windows next, locked. He unlocked one and pushed. It didn't budge. He pushed harder. Nothing. It felt like it wasn't even a real window anymore, like it was just part of the wall. The knocking started again. Louder now, not just from one place, from multiple points around him, behind the walls, above him, below, all in the same slow rhythm. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 knocks. Ethan pressed his hands over his ears, pacing in the center of the apartment. "This isn't real," he kept repeating. "This isn't real." Then he noticed something that made his stomach drop. The hallway. It was longer now. Much longer. The bedroom door at the end looked farther away than it should have been. The light above flickered faintly, stretching the shadows along the walls. And at the very end of that hallway, there was another door. A door he had never seen before. It wasn't there before. It couldn't have been. Ethan stood frozen for a few seconds, staring at it. The knocking stopped. Complete silence filled the apartment again, like whatever was making the sound was waiting, watching. He took a slow step forward, then another. The hallway seemed to stretch with him, each step taking longer than it should have. But the door stayed there, waiting. When he finally reached it, his hand hovered over the handle. It was cold, colder than anything else in the apartment. He hesitated, then slowly, he opened it. Inside was darkness, not just a dark room, total absence of light, like the space beyond the doorway didn't exist. He leaned forward slightly, trying to see anything. And then, 3 knocks, right behind him. He spun around. The hallway was gone. There was no apartment, no walls, no doors, just darkness stretching in every direction, except for one thing. A faint outline of a room behind him. His apartment. Small, distant, like it was far away now. He stepped back toward it instinctively. The moment his foot crossed the threshold, everything snapped back. He was standing in his living room again, exactly as it had been before. The lights were steady. The fridge hummed softly. The hallway was normal, every door where it should be. Ethan stood there, breathing hard, trying to understand what had just happened. Slowly, cautiously, he walked to the front door. He opened it. The real hallway outside, unchanged. He didn't waste a second. He grabbed his keys and left. He didn't pack anything, didn't turn anything off. He just left. The next morning, he called the landlord and said he was done. He didn't explain. He just said he wouldn't be coming back. A week later, someone new moved into the unit. According to a neighbor who lived across the hall, the new tenant lasted 3 nights. On the 4th night, around 9:30 p.m., someone heard loud footsteps pacing inside the apartment. Then, knocking. 3 slow, deliberate taps, over and over again. The neighbor said it went on for nearly 10 minutes before suddenly stopping. The next morning, the door to the apartment was found wide open. The lights were on. The place looked untouched. No signs of forced entry, no sign of the tenant. They were never seen again. The landlord told anyone who asked that the tenant had left unexpectedly, just like the one before. And if someone stands in the hallway outside that apartment late enough at night, they might hear it, faint, muffled, coming from somewhere deep inside. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 knocks, like something is still inside, trying to find the right door out.